Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us yet again on this week's Mortgage Update. I'm Alex Ward, the broker owner of Maxwell Devonshire Realty and the 2022 Broker Manager of the Year for the Realtors Association of Edmonton. I have the absolute pleasure of being joined by Kayla Frerot, Home Financing Advisor with ScotiaBank and one of our preferred sponsors of our most recent golf fundraiser this past Saturday. Kayla, thank you so much for sponsoring, but more importantly, thank you for being here. And what are you talking to us about today?
Today, we are just touching base on the most recent meeting with Bank of Canada. As most people know, they did not increase the rate. They kept it steady, which is great news, and very happy that I may have been wrong on that. So our prime rate is still sitting at 7.2%. There is no increases. So if you have a variable rate mortgage, you're not going to see that payment change, as well as your revolving credit products, secured line of credit pieces there as well. So that was really good news. They do meet 2 more times before the new year. So we'll definitely keep you in the loop on how that looks before they meet. And then after they meet, we'll have a discussion on how that may affect you as mortgage holders or debt holders as well. I did also want to touch on it today, and I will touch on it next week in our weekly meeting there, that when you are doing a pre-approval online, you just have to be a little bit careful. So when you're using the online mortgage calculators, it will pre-populate a rate for you, and it'll tell you this is what you can afford. Now, when we do a credit application, the government rules are we do the Bank of Canada qualifying rate, which is 5.25%, or the contract rate, which is whatever rate you're going to get for your mortgage from the bank, plus 2%. So that is going to be much different than if you're going online and you're using a mortgage calculator that says your rate's going to be, let's say, 6%. If your rate is going to be 6%, we actually use a qualifying rate of 8%. So while online, it might say you're going to be pre-qualified for $525,000, when we actually use the qualifying rate that needs to be used by all banks across Canada, that amount is going to be reduced. So just always reach out to your home financing advisor. Of course, if you don't have a home financing advisor or a specialist, talk to you or one of your realtors at Maxwell Devonshire Realty, and they can point you in the right direction. But always make sure that you're talking to somebody about how that looks, because you never want to think that you're pre-qualified for $525,000. You go shopping, you find your dream home, and then you start the process of the pre-approval after the fact, and then there's a little disappointment there. So just a little tip there, because we did have a few customers last week that had used online calculators. So just a tip: when you're looking for a house, you always want to reach out to your home financing advisor first. And that's all I had for today, but we will have another meeting next week and some good information there as well.
Yeah, definitely the online stuff, because it doesn't count in what type of income you're using and whether that can be used, right? It doesn't go into the qualifying rate. And it's so funny, the qualifying rate years ago, it was a crying shame that it was at 5.25%, and everyone was saying rates will never go up that high. And now people are screaming, when can I see 5.25 again? So it's just interesting that theoretically the qualifying rate was set properly to actually help ensure people could afford today's interest rates, which is funny that it happened that way.
All
But
came to fruition.
yes, no one wants to hear that the Bank of Canada was right about something. So we won't go down that rabbit hole, because we want our viewers to stay happy and continuing watching us, but they were right. And Kayla, you were also right, because you actually thought Bank of Canada might hold its rate, where I was horribly wrong with the very much believing that it was going to go up 0.25%. I'm still holding to that belief that'll happen before the year's end. So I hope I'm wrong the rest of the way, and I hope you are right. But I'm Alex Ward, broker owner of Maxwell Devonshire Realty, and you've been listening to us on Facebook, watching us on YouTube, and listening to us on our podcast, all by searching Maxwell Devonshire Realty. We've been joined by the expert Kayla Frerot, home financing advisor with Scotiabank, and we will see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.